Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up, everybody? We're back with another Short Shifts episode. 10 minutes are on the clock, and we have my best friend in the world, Nick Petraglia, who has the topic today. Trags?
Okay, Toph, you caught me off guard, surprised me the other day with the hockey sense, the goalie hockey sense question. We agreed that we weren't going to tell each other our topics, and we're kind of on the same pages here. So I'm going to come at you. I referenced this in the first 30 seconds of the other talk, but my topic is my biggest pet peeve, and it's coaches that say, I don't know anything about goalies. They don't want to have anything to do with it. They defer to goalie coaches. They'll be in tryouts. They don't want to make decisions. They don't want to have conversations with their goalie coaches or their goalies, and they want to stay totally off of the topic. So I am of the belief that hockey coaches are hockey coaches. I don't care what position it is. Goalies are hockey players. We're all in this together. As a coach, it is your responsibility to manage every player on your team and those relationships. So I want to throw it over to you. You were not a goaltender, but you've been coaching for a long time. What are your thoughts on coaches dealing with goalies?
Well, I think the first thing is, who's the most important player on the ice on a team?
All six of them.
No, but who's the most important? It's the goalie. So if you're going to have that attitude and not care about the most important player on the ice for your team, like it's probably not a smart thing to do, So I think that's really important. So I played for Schaeff, right? And I coached with Schaeff at Cornell. And we obviously were pretty defensive minded. And everybody thinks that's why, Cornell lets up so few goals every year. And that's a part of it. But the other part of it is in practice planning, in video and all that kind of stuff. Schaeff, more than any other person I've ever seen, practice plans to make sure goalies are getting the right types of shots. Practice plans to make sure that goalies are a part of the practice, and every drill design, there's a goalie component to it, where they're seeing a shot that they're going to see during the game, or they're working on a specific fundamental or something like that. Schaeff also watches, as the head coach, watches a lot of goalie video with the goalies. And not to say that he's a goalie coach, but he's a coach and talks about different situations on the ice and what's happening with the play. What'd you see here? What was the read? All that kind of stuff. And so we've also developed a lot of really good goalies out of Cornell too. It's not just because of the system and the attention to detail and the buy-in from the team to playing defensively. We have really good goalies too. And a lot of that has to do with him coaching the goalies just like they're any other hockey player. And so I feel like as a coach in youth hockey, if that's what we want to talk about, we have to develop our goalies. And we just did an entire Short Shifts episode on the hockey sense. You should be asking the goalies about different situations. What'd you see? What'd you see here? What were your thoughts? Why'd you make that decision? You don't have to know a ton about goalies to teach situations in hockey, just like any other player. You might not know the technical jargon and, the different technical saves and things that you need to make in different situations, but you can certainly talk hockey with the goalies, which will help them a ton. Thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. That's exactly it, right? It's developing a relationship. It's helping your player, who happens to be a goalie, understand the game of hockey and understand the situation that they're in, right? So let me ask you this, because you were a coach that didn't play the position. From your perspective and in your opinion, what are the aspects of this topic that make coaches uncomfortable dealing with their goalies or not want to offer their opinions?
You know what? That's a good question. And I think it's probably different for every coach. I think there's some coaches that are just kind of like, I don't know, so I don't want to screw them up kind of thing. But I think another one is just laziness. Mm-hmm. And I think another one is just unawareness. Like, I don't, maybe they don't think the goalie position is that important, or it's simple, just stop the puck and that's it. And so they don't take the time to teach or build that relationship or whatever it may be. So I don't know. What have you seen? You know, you're a youth hockey director and you work with USA Hockey a lot on goalie stuff, part of Goalie Nation. Thank you. Go good for you. Sorry.
Don't mock it, Toph.
Well, what are you seeing?
So I really don't want to attach the term lazy to coaches, because I think by and large everybody has such passion for what they do. They work extremely hard. I think the biggest thing comes down to fear. You talked about not wanting to screw them up. It's obviously a different position. I think that a lot of coaches are just scared to offer the wrong advice. So my advice to that, to counter it, would be to just very simply just simplify things. Learn the fundamentals. Fundamentals are at the root of everything that we do. So learn the fundamentals of goalie, right? And understand who your goaltender is. I mentioned on the hockey sense topic we had, like, there's not one way to play the position, right? There's a lot of different ways to do things, but fundamentals are fundamentals. Helping your goalies sharpen up their skating, their fundamental skills, the use of their hands, their ability to control rebounds, their ability to track pucks. Help them work on those things. You mentioned Shafe. That's an unbelievable responsibility for coaches, to make sure they're practice planning to include their goaltenders' development, right? So that they're facing game-like situations and shots, so that they have the necessary time to recover. And it's not just shot every 3 seconds, because that's not helping a goalie develop proper habits, right?
So what are some things like in practice? So let's get to the nitty gritty on that, because I think that's really important.
Yeah.
What are some situations that coaches could put their goalies in practice? What are some different types of drill designs that you do or that you've seen that could obviously not only help the players to develop their skills and their awareness, but that can also help with the goalies in that sense?
So spacing of time between shots is important, right? That would.
So you're saying a goalie shouldn't see 3 shots in less than 2 seconds?
There's a time and place for that, but to do that at the start of every practice or at the end of every practice is probably not the best practice plan. Another one of my pet peeves. So let's just take our, typical old school standard warm-up drills where players, maybe you're doing something in the neutral zone and the player skates in a straight line down the ice and fires the puck from inside the top of the circle after making a couple passes with his teammates in the neutral zone. Those are very unrealistic situations for the goaltenders and the players. So creating obstacles or, moments for players to make decisions and have to maybe add some deception, change their angle, attack from realistic parts of the ice. It's as simple as just putting things in place to replicate and practice actual situations that happen. So if you're working on something that you would never see happen in a game or doesn't really show its face, you're probably working on something that's not going to make them better or doesn't translate to success. Mm-hmm. I don't think we need to complicate it, right? It's just being mindful of what you're doing and ask yourself the question, does this make sense? Does this apply to the game of hockey? Is this a good situation for my player and my goaltender to be in, to work on their habits, their skills? And, those repetitions are important, but make sure the repetitions are purposeful and productive to what you're trying to do.
Would you say that putting them in situations where they're going to have to skate to get to a spot to make a save is important? And then would you also say that having to battle through some sort of traffic at some point during your practice is important?
Absolutely. Those are 2 great points. And I'm going to add a third one to that. And I think one of the lost arts of goaltending, and you see this comes from poor practice habits and lack of accountability. It's the inability to cover pucks and kill plays and be game managers. So watching goalies throughout practice that just spit pucks back into play, or they make a save and they're already focused on the next shot. So they just swat the puck. The save they just made, the puck is sitting right in front of them, and they just swat it away the corner, right? Without any purpose, meaning, they just throw it back out into play, right? Your ability to manage the game, control the puck, and finish plays, cover things, right? Or make decisions with the puck so that if you're moving it away, it's to put it in a safe area, right? Or it's to put it to a spot where your teammate's going to get it. It's a direct play to a stick blade, right? You've got to have the ability to cover pucks and understand when you have the time to do so. And, sometimes, whacking the puck out of the danger area is the right play. But goalie's ability to cover pucks and kill plays it's disappearing. And that's something we have to, as coaches, hold them accountable for and teach them that skill, because when that puck is around, that's your puck as a goalie, right? You are the game manager. So if you have the ability to hang on to it, take it.
Love it. All right, man. Great job. First timer on short shifts. Appreciate your input. Time is up.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody. Here we go.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.